Holy cow. I am at the last day of the Dr. Joe Dispenza AFU in Denver, July 2026. And oh my God, I just had the most amazing coherence healing. I feel like this is what I've been working towards for so long. All these bits and pieces came together. The teachings this week were amazing. And Dr. Joe always takes it to another level. And this time he taught us about the electric body dance, which I've been doing the electric body for a while, but the dance was profound because he's teaching the theme of this AFU is the electric multiverse. And so it was all about the electrical body. And the electric dance is taking the energy from the universe, the plasma that is all around us at all times, and putting it into each energy center and moving up the body and looking at the body as it's electric. And I danced this week. I moved this week. I danced on the dance floor so much. There's a pop-up DJ that showed up last night. We danced there. And I think, quite honestly, I've had more fun at this event. This is my 10th event. I've had more fun at this one because I've let go more and didn't have expectation. I came in thinking, expect nothing, be everything. And woo-wee, man, okay. The walking meditation this morning, first I'll just say that I had a couple meditations this week that weren't great because I was tired. One night we just slept 4 hours because they're long days. And I felt myself being grumpy. And I said, that's okay, Jim, that's okay. Be okay with what is. And I didn't push myself. I gave myself grace. And then when it was time, like this morning, I had an amazing walking meditation. And Dr. Joe does such a good job of building up during the days and building about all that we're learning so that today we put it all together. And this electric body dance, I'm so grateful we got to do live walking meditations. And that's just so powerful for everybody to be on the same time frame during the meditation. This morning, I was just pulling energy down, and I was absolutely walking as my future self. I am my future self. We talked, one of the sessions that we had was about being entangled with your future self. And we learned about entanglement. And how we can be entangled with our past selves because we keep on doing the same things over and over again. And to be entangled with the future self, we need to change. We need to do something different because the thing that separates us, the present self, from the future self is an experience. And to have an experience different from the past self, you've got to do something different. So I showed up for myself over and over and over again this time. And I always show up for myself. It was different this time because I gave myself grace and I wasn't expecting. So many times when I'm doing a workshop, I'm expecting something. And because I wasn't expecting something, because I was having fun, because I was learning so much, this last healing I just had, absolute magic. I'm so grateful that I'm making this video right now because I'm still in the hotel room. It just happened and I feel it still going through my body. What was different in this coherence healing is that I laughed. I laughed going into it. A lot of times I'm being really serious and I'm thinking, I got it. This has got to work. This has got to work. This needs to happen. And this time I gave my caregiver, Christina, a hug right beforehand. And we were just laughing and joking about electricity. The very first day we were here, I wanted to shave, but the electric shaver that I had wasn't working. And so we plugged it into all the different outlets in the hotel room. It wouldn't work. And so Christina said, I'm just going to put energy into the shaver. So she was doing it, I was doing it, and all of a sudden the shaver started working. And she said right before the shaver started working, she heard a crackling in the electrical cord. And so we kept on joking about that. That came up all weekend. And then today we were joking right before the healing about the crackling. We're like, it's going to crackle. Your spine's going to crackle. The electricity is coming back through your body. And I just told myself to let it happen, let it go. A very, very, very cool thing that Dr. Joe did that was new for me is that Dr. Joe has shown us videos before from a guy by the name of Dr. Healee, and he does anatomy, and he opens up the body and shows the actual biology of the body and the anatomy of the body. So I got to see what the electrical body looks like. I got to see what the energy centers look like. I was thinking of it as a plexus of nerves that was only like this big. No, the plexus of nerves is like that big. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was. And so as I was doing the electrical body, I was feeling bigger plexuses of nerves. And that helped. When I was on the walk this morning, I was bringing energy in and I was feeling it through. I can envision what my whole nervous system looked like because I saw it yesterday. I saw this amazing, Dr. Joe says that Healee is an artist in the way that he shows the body. And it was magic. I'll never forget it. It changes the way I think about things. And so in the healing, first of all, I got to say this too, in the walking meditation, I had so much fun. I was cruising in my wheelchair and dancing and moving. And I felt this open area over to my left. It was a big gravel area. And so I just took off into that gravel and I just spun around and around. And Christina was dancing and expressing while I was spinning. And I was going like 6 miles an hour down. It had a little slope and I'd go flying around. And it was like I was peeling out in the gravel. And I just felt alive. I felt like my future self. I'm like, what would my future self do right now? He would dance. So I was dancing with Christina in my wheelchair, doing circles and spinning around. And that was awesome. That was me being me doing something different, making a change. Today, going to the healing, Christina and I hugged and we were talking about the shaver, about my spine crackling. And I took that into the healing. And I've moved before. I've moved my arm and I've let some light language out. Some language has come out of me at different times. It just came out a little while ago during that pineal expansion I just had about 10 days ago. And a lot of language came out. I let it out so amazingly well today in the meditation. There's 1,800 people in the room and I just started talking. I can't do it. I can't just do it right now. It just came through me. And before the healers even sat down, I was moving and I was moving my body and I was feeling it. And I decided for myself, I said, I am the healer and the healee. Because a lot of times I'm like, just receive, Jim, just let it in. And I thought this time, because of all the things Joe has taught us, I'm going to bring that in too. And what if I can help some of the other people in the room while I'm helping me? Because, well, I heal, you heal. As you heal, I heal. So I started, this language started coming out. My body was moving. I was feeling the electricity up my spine, in my centers, in my energy centers, in my brain, in my vagus nerve, in my heart. And so Dr. Joe starts talking and I started moving with what he was saying. And I was bringing the energy in. I was doing the breath as a healer and a healee. And I was just talking. I started saying over and over again, I allow, I allow, I allow, I allow. I bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. I let go, I let go, I let go. And as I'm moving, my body's moving, sounds start coming out. And this time it was a growl. It was like, Roar, because I'm the lion. I'm the lion. And I was a lion this whole AFU. I was a lion with my family and just being the deciding and being the lion. So when it came out today, it was angry. It felt angry in a way of like, we got to go. Like, let's do this thing. You've called on us. You've asked us to be here. Here we are. And with 1,800 people in the room, I said, Jim, don't stop. Dr. Joe says there was a time where he was trying to get to the unknown. And for months, he was waking up at 4 a.m. And then one time it happened, he almost got to the unknown, and he said, I stopped it. I hit the brakes. Why would I hit the brakes? So going into this meditation or this healing, I said, Jim, don't hit the brakes. Take the brakes off. Let it flow. So I start talking a language that was angry. It was fierce. More than anger, it was fierce. It was determined. It was, it felt oriental. It felt galactic. I don't know how to explain it. I can't do it right now, but I would make a voice and I would also tone and let all these sounds out. And while that's happening, the healers, 6 healers are around me, and they're meditating. They're pouring energy into me. They are flowing with me. And then they turn their hands to me, and I could feel their energy crossing over into my energy field. And the voice just kept on saying, let it in, let it in, let it in. And the voice would say, one time I tried to lift my arm, and the voice said, let us do it, let us do it. Because I've tried to lift my arm, and it's not up to me. They're like, let us do it. So I did, over and over again. So much energy flew through me and is in me right now. And Dr. Joe did something really, really cool, which I love, which is new, is that during the healings, we're chanting. People are chanting. And there's a clip of a video clip that I've seen from a Chinese clinic. I saw it years ago, and the clinic has been shut down since then. But the clinicians, the doctors, dissolved a bladder tumor live on screen by chanting. And so Dr. Joe had that chant translated by a Chinese professional translator, and it was like, dissolve, dissolve, dissolve. I don't remember everything that he said, but so the healers are all, 1,600 people in a room are all chanting, and the power is tremendous. So I'm speaking and they're speaking, and as my language is coming out, their language like crossed over with mine. And then I remember feeling like, let it in, and it's like when 2 waves are together, they amplify. So my language and their language amplified each other. And all this week, this AFU, Dr. Joe has been talking about the power of our word and how what we say becomes. So I'm healed. I say it, I declare it, I am it. It is here in so many ways. And by the chanting, by them bringing that in and me chanting at the same time and just letting that flow, it was crackling and things were moving. I would make tones. And as I toned, it was just like that pineal expansion I had 10 days ago. The tones were associated with different parts of my body. So I would tone, and it would be in my throat, or it'd be in my head, or it'd be in my heart, or it'd be in the nerves. And I would go and make all these sounds and loud. I could feel the room. I knew it was happening, but I just was lost in the act. And I just kept on telling myself, don't stop, Jim. You've asked for this over and over again. Do not stop. Nobody is going to embarrass you. This isn't embarrassing. And afterwards, it was so beautiful Dr. Joe did something really cool this time too, which I like, is that he kept each pod of 6 people the same for all 3 healings. So the same 6 people were healing different people every day for 3 days in a row. And so these people, this was the 3rd healing in a row. And so they have kind of got to know each other. They're aligning, attuning with each other. And something crazy happened, that one of the healers had to go to the bathroom. And so since there was an empty seat, my really good friend Trevor King jumped in. And Trevor is a powerhouse. Right before the healing started, I had my mask on, and he bent down. He said, "I love you, brother." And he gave me a kiss on the cheek. And that just went along with how different this healing was, because I was laughing. Nobody's ever bent down and kissed me on the cheek before a healing and said, "I love you, brother." I didn't know that he was in the pod with me. I just knew that he said that. So having him there was profound. And so many things happened. Knowing the anatomy of the body really helped me feel the electric body. And when I lifted up my mask and we all started talking, they all wanted to know, "Well, Jim, what were you saying? What was it?" And they were touched by what happened. And that's what I told myself before I started the healing. I said, "Jim, you are a healer and a Healee. I'm not saying everybody has to do this. I'm not saying this is necessary. I've done it where I've just been there to receive. Today, I just had the feeling to do it this way. And as I did, I felt like I was healing other people in the room with this language as well as me. I couldn't describe it, but they said, "Jim, you were saying something." They're like, "Have you ever looked up that language?" And I have before, because I've done this before, not at this level, not like this, not in a room of 1,800 people like this, but I've also heard that it doesn't matter what the language is. It's the sound that's coming through and the feeling that I get from it. And this was a feeling of ferocity and compassion and healing. And I mean, how do you describe something that is indescribable? I'm so grateful that I just had 6 people around me that witnessed this, that we will continue talking about this. And what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful event. And what a beautiful past 7 days, 8 days. So many things have happened, and my body is feeling so good right now. And I choose to continue this. I choose to move forward with this. I have ideas when I get back home to do things differently and continue moving forward in a progression. I loved talking about entanglement and what that felt like for my future self. When I was talking to Dr. Healee, the guy who does the anatomy, I introduced myself to him. I said, "Well, I just want to let you know that you're looking at the first guy that, I don't know if I'm the first guy, but you're looking at a man who has healed himself of primary progressive MS and got out of a wheelchair. Remember this name." And so he remembered. He goes, "All right, Jim Fairchild, I will remember that." I said that. I said that to a doctor in a way that was so beautiful. And I went up to him. I was really hoping, I knew that I would get a chance to talk to him. And I was looking to talk to a doctor. He's not a doctor, like a neurologist, but he knows a lot about the body, obviously. So I asked him, how does that thing that they call multiple sclerosis affect the nervous system as we do this work, as we do the work of moving energy through my body? Because I see the pictures that at one point, he spent months taking the nerves, the full nerve tree out of the body. So it was just the brainstem and the brain and all the nerves in the arms and the legs, so you could see it all in one piece. And I said, what does it mean when the myelin's been disrupted that way? And at one point during the session, he showed a myelin in the brain. He said, he goes, I'm not a doctor person, I'm not a neurologist, but I do know that there's a lot of myelin in the body, right? And since there's myelin in the body, there's good myelin. Focus on that. Create more of that. And in this work with Dr. Joe, I saw a video today of a gal who grew her rectum back. That's not supposed to be possible. It had to be removed. There was 3.5 centimeters. And the next time it got measured, it was 10 centimeters. She grew her rectum. Tissue grows back. My doctors have told me that it doesn't grow back. And there's this really weird belief, I think, in Western medicine, that they don't want to give people false hope. Why not? Why not? Dr. Healee, or Gil, I don't know what he goes by, but he was like, why not give people false hope? What's the worst that could happen? You fucking die of false hope? What's wrong with false hope? What's wrong with hope? Hope is good. Not only do I have hope, I have knowingness. And by talking to him with all of his knowledge of the body, I'm just like, all right, I'm going to focus on the good stuff. Not what I've learned. I mean, I believed Western medicine for decades. And I get it. I know that my neurologists and the doctors all mean well. I know that. I believe that. I also believe they've learned from the wrong playbook. The medical profession doesn't know the truth. And I believe that this is the truth. What we're learning now, the electrical body, that you can regrow tissue, the body can regenerate. And that's what's happening right now. I know it. I felt it. I just experienced something that I've been wanting to experience for 10 events since 2019. But I did it this time. And I did it this time with love, with joy, with playfulness. At one point I looked around the room and I knew 6 people in white hats. 6 of the Dr. Joe volunteers were around me. And I'm like, what a blessing that I know these people, that I've built a community with this group. And one of the studies that they talked about today, Dr. Patel talked about, was that healing comes a lot in community. It's just not individual, but it's happening because of the community. And that was so evident today. So many things have happened. I danced on the dance floor and had so much fun. Christina loves to dance, and so we were up there bouncing and bopping. The very first night we got here, there was a gal that had this really cool bubble machine, so she's blowing bubbles up in the air. And we created a little tribe that met at the front of the dance floor every day. And a really, really fun story that came out of this, which is very different, is that there's a girl who's 12 years old, who made a video about heart math and about the random event generators that Dr. Joe uses and how they sync up around the world. And she told a story, and it was her voice. She did the voiceover, she did the editing, she did the animation, and it was very, very well done. And then she got up on stage. Dr. Joe called her up on stage, and she told her story about how she has healed herself of a peanut allergy, of a clothes. I mean, she couldn't wear like itchy clothes. She didn't want to leave the house because of the clothes she had on. And then there's one more thing that she healed herself. Oh, allergic to animals. And by doing this work, she doesn't have any of those issues anymore. It was amazing. And Christina and I were just going, she spoke so eloquently up on stage. And then we just kept on seeing her and her family. And so last night, a DJ decided to play music. And so she really wanted to see a DJ while we're here. And so we went dancing, and this 12-year-old girl showed up. and she wanted to dance with me. And so we got to dance together on the dance floor. And man, she went crazy. She had a great time. And that was movement, that was energy, and that was a random a random event that the guy just started playing music and we all started singing and dancing, and there was dozens of us having fun. That was so beautiful. Whoo-wee. So as I always do when I end my videos, I just want to say love, love, love is so beautiful. And there was so much love, laughter, and hugs with my family and at this Dr. Joe event. And then keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm not going to stop. I have places to go and things to do. I have a book to write, and I'm going to share this. I want to share these events. By me making these videos, it's not only about sharing, but it's me getting it out, and it's me remembering. And then this will lead to more ripples so that people can share this and remember. And thank you to all the healers. Thank you to Dr. Joe. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Gil, and everything that happened. I'm just so, thank you to my family and my friends that were there, and for Christina for being my caregiver, and for Julie for being my caregiver on this trip, and just the magic. Thank you, Trevor, for being in the healing group with me. I am grateful beyond words.